Yeah, so if we agree that a coconut known to have been harvested by a monkey,
No, we don't agree. We don't agree with that. There's a certain percentage of coconuts that are known to be harvested by monkeys. We don't know what that percentage is. I suspect it's actually very low, and I don't know why people are even mentioning it. But we don't agree with that. So, question still remains. So, when I buy a coconut, how do I know that I'm committing a greater moral risk rather than a lesser moral risk of the foods I currently eat?
well, I'm not going to run the argument on someone who doesn't affirm that if you know that if you had a certainty that a given coconut was harvested by a monkey compared to a coconut that wasn't harvested by a monkey with all other factors held equal, if we're not agreeing that that would be non-vegan to actually purchase that coconut with certainty, then I'm not going to run the argument on that kind of view.
Well, no vegan who buys coconuts would take that view. Like every vegan, you understand, like the vegans who buy coconuts don't believe that there's a certainty that the coconuts they're buying were harvested by monkeys.
No, I'm not saying there's a certainty.
That is literally what you just said.
Well, what I said further from that was that if we're unsure, but we know that there's
Yeah,
going to be some
we are
probability.
sure. That's what I'm talking about as well. We're unsure. There is some chance, right?
Yeah,
Just like there's some chance that some animals are going to be killed in some of the crops I buy. I don't know what the chance is. I suspect it's very low. I suspect it's low to the point where like I don't know why people are talking about it just to make noise. But we can look into it. Um, let's see. I don't know what the data is. I don't think you do either. I don't think there is good data. It
I
seems
don't.
like there's like certain isolated areas in Thailand or whatever for coconuts. But like, most coconuts even come from Thailand? Coconut.
I think the majority of coconuts come from like Malaysia, Thailand, India, Sri Lanka, but a lot of these regions do rely on monkeys. And it's not going
China.
to be all. Yeah, it's not going to be all of the coconuts. So
And
it's gonna be,
in Thailand, like what percentage of coconuts come from trained monkeys?
I'm not aware of the exact. I'm not aware of those numbers.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, I mean, so I mean, I don't.
But I'm just saying it doesn't like whatever probability that is. We don't have
Mhm.
the exact numbers dialed in, but I don't
Yeah,
think I would be
but
prepared
why?
to
But wait,
gamble.
hold on. If we don't have the exact numbers down there, then why would I not buy a coconut compared to what I'm already buying? Because there's like all sorts of things that are happening to animals because of what I'm buying right now, and I don't have the exact numbers down. But they're a lot worse than exploitation. There's tortuous death that's happening because of the plants that I buy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of operating off the intuition that it's going to be greater than thirty
The
percent.
tortuous death that happens because of the plants I buy.
No. The amount of like coconut products that
So
are
you think
harvested.
you're operating under the intuition that like the suffering or whatever or deonttic rights violations because of the coconuts that I buy are going to be greater than the suffering or deonttic rights violations of the other plants that I buy. Is that correct?
No, I don't know how I would go about even calculating that sort of thing.
So what's the argument for why I shouldn't buy coconuts?
Yeah, I mean, when I just look at coconut products, if there's I don't know like I'm just operating intuitively here. If there's a 30% chance that that coconut came from a monkey that would harvested
Wait,
it,
where are you getting the 30% chance from?
Well, I'm just operating on. I mean, from what I've seen, I'm not sure how much of this is just media hype or if that's just baloney. But um,
All right,
apparently,
but don't
the
mention a
large
percentage.
countries that
Then just
harvest
say you
coconut.
don't know. I
Right.
don't know
Well,
why you
I mean,
don't want to.
I'm just saying, like, if we suppose that, I mean, I wouldn't roll a dice and then if it landed on like the one or the three, just decide to go and buy
Oh, I
wheat.
can say
And
the
just
same thing about the plants that I buy. Why can't I say the same thing about the plants that I buy? If there's a 30%, if I just suppose there's a 30% chance, I don't know why I'd roll the dice and buy bread. It could lead to like some sort of like pesticides, like terrible thing happening to some rodent or something, dying some tortuous death, bleeding out. I can say the same fucking shit to all the other crops I can buy. What's the symmetry breaker?
I mean, I don't think I could come up with a symmetry breaker, but um, what I would what I would do and what I'm going to start looking into is why are these things not why does it seem like there's no vegans who are advocating for things like labeling this? Like, did this come from this kind of operation, or did it not come from this kind of operation? Because if we had two coconut products beside each other, everything else held equal, then I'm sure we would agree that going for the coconut product picked by a monkey is going to be non-vegan
Well, of
in that
course,
situation.
yeah, sure. But the thing is, if there's no symmetry breaker, then the problem here is that if there's no symmetry breaker, then unless you want to take a view that all the food we eat is not vegan, then you're gonna have to hold the same view. You're not gonna be able to give anyone shit for eating coconuts.
Yeah. So I found out about this last week, and I was surprised I didn't know about it. And I've been thinking about this over the week. But yeah, I mean, you're right. There is like we don't even know how much suffering goes into each calorie of food. That is incredibly hard to calculate.
Yeah, and
Um,
also if you look at the things that happen, it's worse than enslavement.
well, I mean, the mothers are shot
Torturous
too. So
death.
that like so, I mean, their mothers are shot too. So there is murder too. It's not just enslavement.
Okay. Then their mother rodents are killed, and the rodents that are the
Yeah.
children of the mother rodents are killed. I mean, it's death plus one. I mean,
Yeah, so I think out of this, like what I could and what I will, what basis I'll operate from is advocating for accurate labeling of these kinds of things. I'm not sure how there would be an incentive created for that without enough people demanding it. But it seems like I haven't seen any vegans advocating for this, so it surprised me that.
there are plenty of vegans who I've seen heard plenty of vegans start going crazy over palm oil, coconuts for the same reason, um, and all of these things. And all I want to know is why, where the symmetry breaker is, why we should care about this and not everything else. And there's really, I'm not satisfied with any of these answers. It's just, it all seems like just like a lack of reasoning.
Well, I mean, surely, I mean, I don't really know about like all the palm oil data and stuff, but like, surely, if we had a sustainably labeled palm oil, I think they do have some certifications. I'm not sure how accurate they are, but assuming they are accurate, you have two products beside each other. One of them has this little check mark says sustainably harvested palm oil, and the other just like doesn't have that. So
Yeah,
you'd assume
assuming
that
that all else held equal, sure, I would go for, yeah. But now you're just saying, well, now that if the data was known and it turned out to be this case, it's one of those kind of things. Sure, but the whole point here is that when we're actively buying things right now, that it's not the case that the data is known. In fact, the data is not known.
yeah, no, that's a good point. And yeah, Nicole, was you were making that point, Nicole. So yeah, I mean, I translating the whole like coconut to other calories thing, what I just went through makes sense because I don't know how much suffering, death, or exploitation is in like every bite of oatmeal. I I don't know. So so I can't. Yeah, I don't really have any data for symmetry breakers. But I mean, but if I did come up with some, yeah, sure, I'll come back. But until then, I just um, I'm not going to be overstepping that bound. Thanks for the call.
I have a question for the people defending the the purchasing of these coconuts. Let's say we have a company that shoots human parents and forces their children into slavery to pick watermelons. So, would you say we should be agnostic about the morality of purchasing these watermelons because we aren't sure how the level of exploitation compares to other industries?
Yeah, if the other industries also shot humans, then yes. Or maybe we would come to the conclusion that it wouldn't be moral to eat anything.
Well, wait a minute, but other industries don't. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
they
are we
do.
gonna say like
Yeah, they
the
do.
wheat, like the wheat like what about like the
Yes.
wheat industry? They
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Can you give me a single instance of the
You
wheat
think they
industry and
don't? Yeah,
saving?
pesticides. If they are trapping humans and poisoning humans so that they bleed out and die, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what? For what?
So just to be
What
clear, then you wouldn't say it's necessarily wrong to purchase those watermelons
No,
from.
it may be necessarily wrong, but I would take one of two views. View
Well, you
number
would take
one,
the
I would
agnostic
take.
view, right?
No. One of two views I would take. I mean, I can't. Agnostics, you're right. Agnostic could be a third view, but here's one view I would that could be considered taking is that it would be okay to eat both. The other view I would consider taking is that it would not be okay to eat either or anything. It would not be okay to eat any product because all products have this problem. The other view I can take is agnosticism, but here's a view I would not take. Here's the view I'm arguing against. The view I'm arguing against is that somehow coconuts are a problem, but all the other foods we're eating are not a problem to the same degree. Is that coconuts are not vegan, but all the other foods that we're eating are vegan. Like, that's a view I would not take. And I wouldn't do that in the human context, and I wouldn't do that in the animal context.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, because that's a really stupid view.
Wait, just a question. What crops are like where are humans being shot for food today, right now, for the calories?
No, he's giving a hypothetical. You're missing it. No, he's giving a hypothetical. It's like, hypothetically, if humans were the ones being killed and exploited and enslaved, like, would we be okay with the coconuts? And I'm saying, like, if you're going to equalize it to humans in that context, equalize it to humans in all the other contexts, like the wheat industry.
Hey, when you say the coconuts, do you mean like the coconuts being harvested by monkeys?
Yeah, that's what we're
No, that's not what I was asking. What I was asking is if we had a similar situation with humans picking watermelons, would we say it's okay? Okay.
Yes, I understood that. Yeah.
Okay, so never mind. Then I guess I must have misunderstood you.
So I think all you're saying is if we had a symmetry breaker, then we'd have a symmetry breaker. But then
And if we don't have a symmetry breaker, then we don't have a symmetry breaker. What do you know?
When you're talking about killing predators and stuff, this is purely in a vacuum, right? Like, ignoring all external reasons.
No, I think we should. I think we should be killing predators.
What if that?
I mean, in a vacuum for sure. In a vacuum for sure, definitely. That's obvious. But I think that we're merited to kill predators as it stands right now.
Oh, you mean like if I felt like it, or we should kill all of them systemically, just wipe them out?
Yeah, we should be well, at the very least, a lot more than are currently alive right now. But like, maybe we can like save a few on moral hazard just in case like we turned out to be wrong about this, and then we could reintroduce them. But and like we can like keep them in certain conditions. But like, yeah, the idea of keeping predators alive in nature doing what they're doing is absolutely insane.
Wouldn't there be? I'm not like an ecologist or whatever, but I'm pretty sure there would be some empirical reasons why you shouldn't do that, right?
Yeah,
Like
same thing would
just
be
fuck up the
true.
ecosystem.
I agree. Same thing would be true with humans. Say if there was like a being that was killing humans, you can make the same case. There would be good reasons to think that the ecosystem would be more fucked if we saved the humans.
Hmm. Oh, okay. I get what you're talking. And you don't view the ecosystem as like serving human beings in kind
I
of a
view the
selfish way.
ecosystem as valuable only in the sense that it does serve, that does generate well-being. I don't. Other than that, like if the ecosystem doesn't generate well-being, or only I value it only to the degree that it does those things, and to the degree that it doesn't, it can go fuck itself. Like I couldn't care less about
Yeah.
the ecosystem. I'm not. I don't have intrinsic value for the ecosystem though.
So if the the negative side effects of killing predators ended up creating less well-being overall because the whole ecosystem just flopped, then you probably wouldn't do it.
And on a utilitarian view, I probably would not. But I think that's a
Yeah.
crazy claim to make. Yeah, it would be very hard pressed to make that claim. Like the default would be to save the victims from the predators.
Yeah, sure. Have you heard of Shelley Kagan's thing about counting animals?
What do you mean counting
Like
animals?
he made a I think it started off with him replying to Peter Singer's speciesist model, where he wanted to value animals, but he wanted to do it in a way that gave them a ranking. And his justification for killing animals in extreme circumstances would be that because we have personhood, we would have more to lose in that scenario than the animal would. We have like more complex brain states that we could experience throughout the rest of our life than like a fish. So if we kill the fish so I can live the rest of my life, that's better because I had more to lose than the fish. So I think if we're going to be wasting a lot of our time policing the environment, like policing the oceans, policing the land, making sure animals aren't killing each other, killing all the predators, I'd say we're probably wasting a lot of time there that we could have been spending doing meaningful personhood activities like writing stories, falling in love, blah
What
blah
if?
blah.
Well, the problem is, what if it is meaningful to them to do these things? What if someone does find meaning in killing the predators?
Yeah, but do you think everyone would? Like, if we've
No,
got to,
maybe not everyone would, but certainly you would agree with it for the people that do, presumably.
yeah, sure. But I
Or
mean,
is it
Okay,
like,
well,
if we wanted to police the oceans, the lands, everything, we'd have to get a lot of people on board, and presumably most people wouldn't really want to
yeah,
be
I look.
doing it.
I'm not saying we have an obligation. I'm not saying like it's
Yeah.
obligatory, but it's certainly like justified if someone were to do it.
Well, you could also just check your
Yeah, sure.
for symmetry with the xenomorphs. Like, would you find no meaning in saving the humans from the xenomorphs?
Most people probably would in that case, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
But
yeah.
that's
So,
because they have more to lose than, oh, then
yeah.
that's
So
kind of
that's
like self-defense.
yeah. So then he's
It's
gonna
like
ask for
selfish.
some symmetry breaker. But I think Avi, I wanted to ask you about this. So you got to this point with Richard where it came down to some utilitarian calculus that line existence is offsetting their non-existence through like the ecology, like a delicate web. So is like, could you explain what kind of utilitarian case has to be made there?
Yeah, it would have to be made at least for a utilitarian to accept it. It's just that the the well-being to suffering differential would be just greater if we, for in both cases, if we let the xenomorphs go and start killing humans, and if we let the just like if we let the lions go and kill the predators. And I don't know how you would go about establishing that. if that's the case that you want to make, I mean, you know, if it became very clear that, you know, there would just be so much suffering that would outscale the amount of suffering that the lions killing the gazelles or whatever would experience, all their other victims, then I guess a utilitarian would agree. But I wouldn't, if, you know, when someone goes to murder someone else, I wouldn't default to the murderer side on the utilitarian calculus. Like, oh, I guess we don't know. I guess I'll default to the murderer. Like, I would, if you want to make a case for murder, I would expect you to justify that case pretty strongly. I wouldn't just say like, oh, I'm just going to be agnostic on it until like one way. No, my baseline is like, if there's one individual is going to murder another individual, I am going to do what I can to stop them, unless I can be provided with a very good reason not to do that.
Yeah. I'm assuming that there is a good reason. I just don't know of it because I'm not like, I don't have enough empirical information on the ecosystem. Because I'm not a fucking scientist, but
let's just say that there's going to be some amount of predation that's necessary to keep that specific ecosystem functioning, and as a result, human civilization functioning.
yeah.
But so that would be the threshold.
Some predators are like, if fucking household cats are fucking up the ecosystem like they are, I doubt that what you're proposing isn't going to fuck up the ecosystem. I'm not sure.
What I'm wondering is, why can't this lead to like other solutions, like Nicole's nickname, "Feed the Lions Spaghetti"? Because we could just have
So yeah, I mean, like, sure, in principle, yes, but like, good luck with doing that in practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Avi, earlier you said that we should probably keep some predators around.
Not in the wild.
Moral hazard. But what do you said, like, in case we were wrong? Like, what do you mean by us being wrong?
In case we were wrong about the utilitarian calculus, in case it became obvious that for whatever reason there was just so much destruction and devastation because we didn't have the lions murdering gazelles. In case that turned out to be true, we could reintroduce them.
But what would that scenario look like?
What's going on out
Yeah, the same reintroduction scenario for any other species. I don't see how it would be any different.
Like, can you like put a number on it? Like, what's the chance of your?
Oh, I think it would be
Stance
zero.
being
That we would be wrong. I think it's my intuition. I don't have a number. I don't have a calculus. My intuition is like probably 0.00000 something 1% chance. Like, it's really, really fucking low. I think predators do so much more suffering than the suffering that would be entailed by the quote unquote ecological collapse that would follow from getting rid of the predators.
Have you already gone over all these arguments before? And I'm coming in like a fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the Shelley Kagan one? Have you heard that one before?
What about it?
The way we view whether or not it's justified to kill things as if we're gonna, or like take a precautionary action in protecting animals as if we have more to lose than the animals do in their lifetime. So like, if I'm gonna kill an animal to eat it, I'm not really gonna be gaining more than the animal's losing because it's losing its entire life from the point that you kill it. But if I'm gonna die and I need to kill the animal to live, I'm gonna lose more because I can experience much more meaningful brain states. So if everyone's policing the seas, they might be losing a lot of time that they could be doing experiencing more meaningful brain states than like the animals that we're saving.
Didn't I already respond to this?
No, I'm just asking if you've heard it before, because I've...
Oh no, I haven't heard of it before, but I responded to it. You've mentioned it before.
You said if they want to, and then you compare.
Yeah, look, I mean, clearly there's going to be a lot of people. Look, just like with the xenomorphs, there's going to be people who find it very meaningful to save human lives by killing the xenomorphs. I think people who are aware of this argument would find it very meaningful to kill predators.
But I guess, like,
yeah,
The reason why I'm still kind of not sold on the argument, like, there's a slight sort of speciesism going on. Like, why would you favor the life of a gazelle over that of a lion? Like, let's say
It's
like all
not
I see is that
speciesism.
no, okay, well, yeah, well, it's something close
No,
to
it's
it,
not.
but like I
It's
see
definitely not
two
speciesism.
animals,
It's
like I see
favoring
two
victims,
animals.
right?
Yeah, because one is
Yeah,
the victim
but
and
a
one is
victim,
the perpetrator.
yeah, but the victim like kind of entails an intention. I think
No, it
that's
doesn't. Well,
something
they
you should.
have. Well, it doesn't. No, they have. I believe they. First of all, it doesn't necessarily entail intentions.
Like, you think a
I don't. I don't
lion
have. No,
just
it
likes
doesn't
killing
entail.
gazelles, not for
No.
food.
Yeah, but I also believe these beings actually do have intentions. They're just not moral agents. I don't believe intentionality entails moral agents. You can have
Yeah,
an
so
intentional state and not be a moral agent. But there
yeah,
is
so do you
intention.
think?
I do believe. So there's two issues. So number one, I don't think it's required. Intentional states are a requirement to be a victim of something. Number two, I actually believe lions do have intentional states, and of all the other predators that I think should be killed also have intentional states, and they do have the intention to
Well,
kill
if you
these
define it
gazelles.
that, well, if you define it like that, I would just say that moral agency is part of or a necessary condition for victimhood,
No,
or like
I just
for
reject
being.
that. Yeah, I just reject that,
I
and
don't see
I'll just
why
ask.
I would
I'll
accept
ask
it.
the question in the
I
human
think,
context. I'll just ask the question in the human
yeah,
context. So if
if
it
the
was a human,
xenomorph, if the
if there
xenomorphs
was a
like,
there was a xenomorph who wasn't a moral agent. Would you say that we should not be killing the xenomorph now, and we should let it eat the humans? Yes or no?
I don't know about killing, but probably should do something else.
Should
What?
do it.
Wait, you're not answering the question now. You're just
Yeah,
not answering the
because
question.
I'm
So
kind
my
of embarrassed
question
about it.
was, yeah, well, no, you said there's a symmetry breaker, and the symmetry breaker is moral agency, and the reason moral agency is the symmetry breaker is because moral
Yeah,
agency is the symmetry.
I said we should do something about it if we can.
Well, no,
I
let's
don't know
say no.
about
In the hypothetical, the only thing
killing.
that you can do
Well,
in
yeah,
this
of course.
hypothetical, the only thing that
If
you
you're gonna
can do
like
is to kill.
strict me
Yeah.
to, yeah, okay, sure.
So then, what's the reply?
The reply to the trait or the
Do
symmetry
you agree?
breaker
Yeah.
between the two.
Well, do you accept that it's okay to kill the lion? Yes or no?
I really don't know. I think I haven't
Do you
thought about
accept
all
that it's
this.
okay to kill the xenomorph? Yes or no?
The xenomorph, I actually don't know to both. Like, there's like, I don't know. I have to think about it more, I guess. That would be my honest answer.
I mean, I
But
definitely
but
agree
my point
morally,
was
but
that moral agency does like take a big part of my moral consideration. Probably bigger than what you
Well,
give.
it's not, still not answering the question. So wait. So do you?
Yeah,
You're
I told you
agnostic
that I
on.
need to think about it more.
Wait, I want to know if you're agnostic right now on killing the xenomorph.
I think I don't know. I take agnosticism to deal with like knowledge. I don't think morality like makes
Do you
sense
know
without
have a
this sort of
view of
knowledge.
whether you're going to kill the? It's okay to kill the xenomorph or not?
No, I don't have a view. I already said.
Oh, okay.
I need to
I think that's
think about
crazy,
it.
but okay. I think that's
I don't.
hilarious.
I
So
don't.
so if you like, a xenomorph's just ripping into a baby alive. It's just ripping into the flesh. You don't know whether it's the right thing to do or not to
Like,
kill the xenomorph.
like not even a xenomorph, just a lion in Africa eating a kid.
No, I
Like,
didn't ask you. Now you're just dodging again. So like I'm
no,
asking.
like
I'll
the
repeat the
same.
question. So the question is, if there is a xenomorph that's going to a human baby, ripping the flesh of a baby alive, it's screaming out in pain. You have a gun. Your view is that you don't know. You don't
No,
have
I
a
don't.
view. You don't have a view whether you're gonna kill the xenomorph to save the baby or not.
In that
Do I have that
situation,
right?
if I was in
yeah,
front.
kill it.
No. If I
Do I have that? I just want to know if I have that right. I want him to
No, you
answer.
don't. No, because
Okay, so
you kind of
what's your
like
view?
tweaked it a little bit. Because if
What
I
did I
was
tweak?
there in front of it, experiencing it right in front of me,
Mhm.
and that baby was just like in pain, and I had a gun, so it was like one trigger away from that situation
Mhm.
stop happening, then I would pull the trigger. Now, if
Okay,
you're
what
talking
about
about
with the lion?
systemic,
What about with the lion?
systemic
Wait,
annihilation of all the
wait,
predators.
wait! Stop!
Yeah, the lion
Stop.
too. Yeah.
Okay,
the
now
lion
what
too.
if you knew in the future? What if you knew in the future what happens?
What do you mean?
Well, you understand that, like, if you look at a xenomorph, you could know that a xenomorph in the future could kill a baby. Just like you know that a lion in the future could kill a gazelle.
I'm not sure about that. Like they can presumably
Wait, what?
eat. Like
Or any
I don't
other.
know. Well,
or
I
any
don't know
other sentient-
much more about
sentient
xenomorphs,
herbivore.
but in your hypothetical, are they
Lions,
like
lions,
eating
very,
uniquely
lions
humans?
eat, lions eat, lions eat. If you look at any lion, you can be sure that they will eat some some sentient herbivore.
Oh yeah, but I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about xenomorphs.
Well, and let's just say hypothetically, you knew in the future that the xenomorph would be guaranteed to eat at least one human alive.
Yeah, I
Do you
guess.
kill it? Do you have a view on whether you kill it?
Yeah, if I had like if I was 100% sure that that will happen again, then yeah, probably yeah.
Yes, and same with the lion, right?
The lion. I mean, lions presumably can eat dead bodies, right?
The
That
lion, no.
already killed. What do you mean,
Xenomorph
no,
can
no,
eat
no,
dead
no?
bodies too, but that's spot. But we stipulated
Yeah,
that.
in those
almost
situations, I wouldn't
certain.
object.
Yeah. But in reality, the lion will almost certainly eat a live herbivore in its life.
Yeah.
Each individual one, and just like the xenomorph will almost certainly eat a human in its life.
Yeah, but
So
why should I value the gazelle's life over the lion's? I don't take lion to be
why
like a
should you
criminal.
value the human's life over
I
the
just take them
xenomorph's
to
life?
be
Why should
to
you? You
be-
can ask the same question. Why should you value the human's life over the xenomorph's life?
yeah. Well, the part is I need to think about the trait. But me not
So
finding
you're
a trait
so right now.
doesn't-
I
doesn't
just want a
follow
clear
to
answer. So
be
right
none.
now, do you not have a clear view? Right now, do you not have a clear view on what you think should be done to the
I don't have
xenomorph?
a clear view on the trait. No, I am sure, but
Wait. That's not what I asked. Listen, when you answer my question, I want you to do the following. I want you to just stop for a second and ask yourself, is what I'm about to say out of my mouth actually answering the question that's being asked? Okay?
Well, if I am objecting to the question being asked, then of course
No.
I'm not gonna
If
answer it.
you
It
think
has,
the
like,
object no. If you think the
It had, like,
question
some-
is incoherent, or if you think the question contains a contradiction,
or-
that's a different story. And then,
if it-
but then you
or if
better
it's
be
assuming
prepared for what
something else that
propositions
I
entail the
object to.
contradiction. So, again,
Or if it's a loaded question that's like have
loaded.
underlying
You don't.
assumptions
Do you
that-
even know what a loaded question means? What is a loaded question?
No. Yeah, it's a question that has a presumption that I supposedly object to. So
Okay.
I would
But what? So
get
then you'd
down
have
to that
to.
presumption.
But then you'd have to spell. Then you have to be ready to spell all that out. Now, my
Sure, yeah.
question here to you is the following. Now, I want you to think really hard about what your answer is, whether it actually answers the question. Okay?
Mhm.
If there's a xenomorph, and you know that it's almost certainly going to be the case that in the xenomorph's future they're going to kill a human, do you have a view on whether it's okay to kill the xenomorph?
Like we're talking 100% knowledge that
No, we're not talking. Look, dude. Oh my. Okay, you need to really stop.
What do you mean? I'm asking
Because you're
for
not like
clarification.
I already mentioned in the question. It wasn't
Okay.
100% knowledge. It was almost certainly
Certain.
to
I don't-
the
I
same
don't
degree
know.
that we could be certain that a lion will kill an herbivore in its lifetime.
Okay. Okay. I mean, the whole like you're just asking for a yes or no. If I say anything else,
Yes,
it's
that's the
like-
point.
That's the point.
Yeah, but I need fucking time to process that.
Well,
Okay,
that's
you can take
fine,
time to
just
process
admit
that,
it.
but you better when you answer, you better actually answer the question. Or else
Yeah.
you're just going to be met by the question again.
Well, look, I mean, if you want, you can just like talk to someone else, and I'll just tag you if I have a response. Because like the material conditions of the world in which these
All right. I think we'll move on to the. Yeah, we're gonna move on.
Yeah,
to the
I don't
next-
think
to
it's like you can give an instant yes or no. But
No, you can. It's just that you seem to be evasive. Very
no,
evasive.
I'm just like, I want to be clear with my answers. I don't want to give you a
It's
yes and
fine,
then change
it's fine
it
to be
a
clear,
no,
but
or
in this
give you a no and
conversation,
change it to a yes.
I just want you to know. In this conversation, you have the perception of being highly evasive. That's all.
No, I'm just being.
You can
careful
ask
with
anyone
what I
else in the
say,
room
is
if they
what it
have a
is.
different view.
Well, okay, whatever. But I am just trying to be careful with what I say.
Have
is
you
all it
heard
is.
of Name the Tradie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like people who are being wishy-washy when answering that.
I don't think that's accurate analogy, but okay.
That's what it sounds like.
Like I said,
When I
I'm
was
not the only one
asking
considering a very
Avi, like, when I was asking if you heard it before, I wasn't asking you to answer the question again. I was just curious if I was
Oh, yeah.
crawling down the same dialogue tree that you've been down 50, 100 times, like
Oh yeah,
people
yeah, that's
usually are.
fine. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Fair enough. Anyway, how's everyone doing today?